Welcome to Pasqual's Eye on the Arts, coming to you from West Hollywood. I have a great show today. We're putting on the glitz. I brought in some ties and brought in some really beautiful people, and I have a co-host tonight that is very well known in our city. Her name is Camelita Pittman. She's the founder of the Rose Breast Cancer Society and has been a dear friend for many years and has been a dear friend to all the angels in Los Angeles. Angels are her specialty. And she is the founder of the Rose Breast Cancer Society. And welcome, Camelita.
Well, thank you for having me, Pasqual. And of course, we go way back with our connection with the world of arts.
Right.
And I'm just so happy to be here and to introduce my wonderful new friend, Chef AninA Radoyce.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes.
Everybody pronounces it in different ways, so it's fine.
I hope I said it correctly.
It's Radoyce, but
Radoyce.
it's all right. It's a
okay.
changed last name. My father changed it
okay.
when he immigrated to America many, many years ago. He was afraid they would tease us. So he ended up, from Radoyce, went to Radoyce. He Americanized
I
it.
see. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hello, everybody. How are you?
Tonight we're going to talk about food and its relationship to our health, our wealth, and also the arts.
Yes.
And because I really feel that culinary arts are probably one of our greatest arts.
I agree with you. I think it's really a plate is a painting, and the taste is like a harmony. So food is absolutely art in its expression that touches all the senses. You know, you can go from just, it's more like love. As I say, main ingredient in all is love. I've been cooking for a long, long time, and it's my biggest passion, yes.
Tell us a little bit about your background. I hear you're Italian.
Well,
and one of the things that I really haven't really discovered in most Italian chefs, they're not all about health. And your whole thing is about health. I mean, I've been listening to it from the Rose Breast Cancer Society head Camelita for many, many years. She's been on this. She has a wellness part of the Rose Breast Cancer Society. And we all have to listen to it. And we listen to it.
Yes.
We may not follow it, and she doesn't say very much about it. But now she's discovered you, and we're going to be doing, it's kind of like this could be a pilot for your cooking show.
I think it's really important. It's really about, as Carmelita always says, it's really about real food. It's really about non-GMO. It's really about the pure foods. It's about cooking at home. It's about really paying attention to what goes in. And, you know, again, it's always best to have coconut oil to use because it's a pure extracted oil. It's not extracted chemically like a lot of the vegetable oils or canola oils. Again, not always. I'm not saying let's become fanatics and not do anything else, but keep an eye on high fiber foods, less refined foods, functional foods that are full of supplements like irons and vitamins. If we don't have the right intake and we don't take them, we must be careful to the food we consume. So I always advise go to the farmer's market because it's fresher.
Right.
Grow your own, you know, or regrow your own food. Fun stuff that you can do with like celery, for example. If you leave the bottom of the celery where the root is and you just put it in a little cup of water, within 2 or 3 days you'll start seeing the first 3 or 4 leaves, and then in 2 weeks you've got little celery sticks, your own grown. And same with romaine salad and many other different vegetables. You can have fun at home and regrow them. But again, it's about real food. It's about slow cooking. It's about eating the right quantity too.
Quantity.
The quantity is really important. and the sugar, no.
Oh, that's a real no-no.
It's a real no-no. That feeds a lot of diseases, and it creates a lot of disease.
Well, cancer loves sugar.
Absolutely.
It feeds on sugar.
I read that. But we've always known that also. In Italy, there's various types of Italian food. There's the fat Italian food, which is for the feasts. Now we have to remember it's a very ancient food, so the feast would happen 3-4 times a year. They wouldn't be all the time. The big meal is the Sunday meal. So during the week, it is very light, much lighter than the Sunday meal. The Mediterranean diet is full of legumes, greens, pasta, but okay, we have to distinguish the pasta that we find here and the pasta that we find in Italy. The pasta that we find in Italy is made with hard wheat durum. So hard wheat is a different kind of a wheat. It has between 9 to 15% protein. So it's a full meal actually with vegetables and or fish or meat or cheese. It really becomes a substantial food. Excuse my English, sometimes it goes off. But again, I am about real food from east to west, from north to south. And since we are in America, we have the opportunity to, when we say art and food, to create it. I love to.
Right.
The other day I made you have to taste it, I have to make it for you again, a carne asada lasagna. And people said, what? And I said, yes. So the way you marinate the carne asada, so with the chili, and it had this, I felt like I was in Guadalajara. And then the Italian bechamel, the Parmigiano Reggiano, and this concoction mixed together and in the oven, and it came out, and it was a wedding of cultures. So I think art and food go together very, very much.
Wow. Let me ask you, what do you see the difference in the foods in Italy and here? In homes and in restaurants? Is there a difference? Do you see a difference?
I absolutely do. Now we have to understand that here in America we eat out a lot. In Italy we eat out less. It's more, here there's more of a habit of takeout. We have to be careful. There's a lot of really, really good new restaurants that I've seen here in Los Angeles that also are in franchising that I really like, that have a lot of salads and a lot of vegetarian and vegan plates. I'm a little against the super cheap fast food, but again, one hamburger once in a while is not going to kill you. Let's not become these crazy fanatics that this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. In Italy, we go to McDonald's too once in a while. I mean, and we love it. And so I say, let's be aware that our body is a perfect machine. And to keep it well tuned up, you have to put good substance in it. I always tell everybody, if you owned a Rolls Royce, would you put water in the gas tank or soda in the gas tank? No. So why do you do it to yourself? So your favorite plant, beautiful roses or orchids. I love orchids, okay. Would you water them with soda? No. So why do you give it to your children in that manner? Again, let's get back in contact with ourselves and, again, food is all about connection. It's about the table. And we've lost it here a little bit, and I think we should re-find it.
Where were you born here or?
I was born in Italy.
Italy, okay.
My mother was Italian. My
Uh-huh.
father was American. He became American in 1948, right after World War II. And I was raised between Italy and, well, actually Tuscany and Los Angeles. So in California, I got both. I always say the best of both. Sono veramente italiana. I'm really Italian. I speak both quite well because I learned them when I was very young. And I brought back from Italy my love for real Italian food. And here, I have all the best ingredients. So
Do you find you have more ingredients here than you do in
absolutely.
Italy?
Well,
Really?
here I have more ingredients to do my fusion. I am a food inventor. I love, again.
A food inventor.
Yeah, I see it on the back of your.
Yes, I see.
of your-
I'll turn around
Yeah.
and show you. I don't know if you can see it here.
Yes, there it is. A food inventor.
I am a food inventor, yes. And I love
You're
to.
a little bit of a food inventor yourself, aren't you, Carmelita?
Well, Pasqual, you and I share the love of food, and you probably are one of the only people that I know that also takes photographs of food when it's arranged beautifully.
Absolutely.
And I like to invent my own recipes, and I take photographs of them, because you arrange
It's so
the food to make it look like a painting with all the different colors. And by the way, the more colors that you have on your palette, it is
Absolutely.
very healthy. You want to have like a rainbow of colors, you know.
Absolutely. It's called chromotherapy.
Yes.
It is connected.
Chromotherapy.
Chromotherapy,
Wow.
which is the colors that, so you have them in your plate and you eat, while you eat them, it's just like, it's a healing process. Actually, I have to say something. I was invited by Carmelita and I had one of her invented soups. Oh, it
really?
was spectacular.
Oh my gosh,
With
that's
different spices. And I had never had one, and she said she had never even made that one that way. And it was, again, you've got a pinch of that and a pinch of this and a pinch of that, and it's yummy, 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 yummy.
You just have to kind of sense and feel it, you know, how much to put in, you know.
Well,
and-
you experiment.
Yes.
It's a play, and sometimes you go, oops, this is really awful. And if you have a dog, he'll be very happy. But again, 9 out of 10, you'll end up eating it. I always say the biggest mistakes create masterpieces sometimes.
Well, I enjoy creating recipes, and it's on my bucket list to put together a cookbook one of these days with illustrations, of
That
course.
would be fun.
And being a fine artist, that's one of the things that I do, you know.
Yeah, you know, we talked about Carmelita being a creator of organizations and humanitarian, but she really is a beautiful artist and also a teacher. Spent many years in our Los Angeles school systems, and she wasn't the normal kind of teacher. I mean, she'd be taking them on field trips and doing murals and going to rug factories and getting all this stuff and creating art with it, and it was amazing, you know. And before rap even got started, I heard, tell us about the James Brown story and you being the rapping, what was it?
I was the rapping school teacher. Back in the 80s when rap was just entering the scene. I thought it was already out of date. I thought, you know, and I didn't realize it was actually on the forefront of it. And now it's mainstream center. But my students, I took half my classroom, and we went into the recording studio. And I had them picked up in the limousine because at that time we had Pittman limousine service. And I was friends with Michael Wyckoff, and Michael Wyckoff was on RCA, and he was the keyboard player for a very, very popular group, the Gap Band. And now, you know, that band is it's just part of our musical history, you know. And so the kids, I used to call them kids. I know they're not goats, but I used to always call them my kids. So we would go here and there, and like he was saying, we had a lot of adventures, and one of them was them being on stage for the pre-Grammy Gala. And they were the School of Cool, and I was the rapping teacher. And so the rap record made the charts in the top 40. Well, I had all the kids calling, you know, I mean, they were calling the disc jockey, when are you going to put on the School of Cool? School of Cool. And the disc jockey's going, School of Cool, what is that? And so finally, they got curious about it, and it made the charts.
Wow. A beautiful story.
Tell us about what would be your favorite dish, or are you known for any special foods, or what kind of things? You say you're an inventor in foods. That's really amazing.
There is no favorite dish because every time is something new. I love food. I love all the food from all different cultures. I've eaten the most incredible things, and no, I love vegetables very, 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 very much, all of them, and I create magic plates with them, and again, it's about colors. I love ceviche, and then I use all the colorful heirloom carrots to create this yellow, white, orange, red, purple, with back at the bottom. It's just beautiful. But
are they doing that in Italy also? I mean,
no, in Italy you don't play with food. They're very, very severe and very strict, and they take their food so seriously. I always like to talk about this story. Once I had a friend of mine came, and we were in Cortona, Italy. So we went out and we ate. It was for a Sunday, and it was a fish meal. And so we had this tagliatelle allo scoglio, which is sea breeze spaghetti. Tagliatelle is a type of pasta. And she wanted cheese. So the waiter came by and she said, "Could you bring me some Parmesan cheese?" And the waiter looked at her like he was astonished, like she had cussed or said something awful. So went back, and the chef came out and looked at her and standing up saying, "Madame, we don't put cheese on the fish pasta. It's a no." So they got all kind of angry. It's really funny how it's serious. Italians are, how would you say it, very severe. We have a first dish, you have the antipasto, the first dish, the second dish, that goes with certain vegetables. And then it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can't mix them together. You don't put everything in one plate. It's just like, so it's very different. And that's why I like to be the food inventor. And that's why I moved back to California, because I'm free and I can do what I want and I can create the art I want and I can make my
You know,
plates.
it's amazing. But when I've been overseas, like when I was in Italy, I noticed that the Italian food in Italy was totally different than what I was accustomed to here
Absolutely.
in the States. And also the same thing when I was in China.
It's so
it
true.
was so different from the chop suey. In
Abs-
fact, they didn't even have chop suey. Chop suey is an American invention.
We have to remember this. Now, this is, I love to talk about this because now, when we immigrated between 1890 and 1903, 3.5 million Italians came in through Staten Island to build America, like a lot of us did. When we got here, the first Italians, they didn't have their ingredients to make their food, but they wanted their own food. So, for example, garlic bread, the way you eat it here, it's only an American thing. Spaghetti and meatballs, the way you eat it here, it's only an American
I
thing.
know.
So you can't eat it, and which is,
What's the difference? What?
okay, so garlic, let's talk about garlic bread, which is bruschetta aglio olio. Now it's December, so we've got the brand new oil that's just finished making, and it's the time where it's winter and it's cold, so you take bread, you cut the slices, and you put it on the fire, and you roast the bread, and then you take a garlic clove, and you scratch it on this crunchy slice of bread, and then you put the new olive oil. That's garlic bread. Here, they didn't have the extra virgin olive oil, but they did have butter. So they mixed the garlic with the butter, but the garlic and the butter would change, so they had to enhance it even more. Say, okay, if this is not really like that, let's make it something even yummier. So they added Parmesan cheese and they added parsley. And so this was invented. There's a lot of, again, fusion. Because when we immigrated, all of us, the Italians, the French, the Germans, the Irish, the Chinese, everybody that immigrated to this country didn't find at first their ingredients until they were stabled here and they started importing their own things. And that's how America is one of the countries that has the most extraordinary quantities and diversity of foods. Because you can find the Eastern Europe, Western, you can find all the Asian food. You can find from all over the world.
So do you have a specialty, or do you now put all these things in together like a rainbow of recipes and countries and people? And
I am, okay, let's say this. I'm very versatile. So I am a food inventor, but I'm also very strict on certain recipes. It's what is asked. What they ask me to do. I have done an Etruscan banquet dated 2,700 years ago, where we were able to find certain recipes that the Romans had englobed and recreate the same type of food, the same type of eatings that they did at the time. Of course, modifying it because we wouldn't be able to eat those flavors anymore. The taste buds have completely changed. The garum is this, now it's anchovy paste, which is yummy. At the time it was, if we've tried to remake it, it's something that smells so bad that we wouldn't even get close to it, but they would use it on meat that was putrid or had gone bad. It's a long story to talk about food if we go back. There's so much to be told. I like, fusion is my favorite when I create and
now,
invent.
what does fusion mean?
Fusion means that I take all the ingredients that I want, that I find, and and I invent. I will make a chicken cacciatore with a zest of curry, or I will make I don't know. You have to come taste my food. You know.
Now, are you have any dreams for the future? I think I know a few of them, and they're very
Yes.
exciting.
I like
Maybe-
to bring back the old. I want to, again, bring back what grandmothers used to do. Functional foods. What are functional foods? Foods that make you feel better. Foods that help you get back into health. We are what we eat.
That's right.
And mente sana in corpore sano, which the Latins used to say, you can only have a healthy brain in a healthy body.
Yes.
And you can only do that by eating well, exercising. And people say, how are you so in shape? My exercise is walking. I don't go to the gym. I don't have time to go drive the car, but I walk. And so I'm able to eat 2,000 calories a day. When some of my girlfriends that are always in the car with 800, they're always gaining weight. Again, you have to consume what you eat. And I'm back to bring back my plans for the future. Is my TV show. I'm working on one that I love, dedicating my life to making a better place for children. We've got a lot of emergencies right now here in America. People are very trendy and go do, which I love and adore. Everybody can do what they want, but I came back to do work here. We've got children going hungry. We've got foster children that need to be taken care of and create projects for them. We have baby mamas that need situations. 16, they get pregnant, and they shouldn't. But I'm not here to judge what they do or not. I'm here to create solutions to the problems. So I'm working on a project right now to have houses donated in less fortunate places where we can create a structure with grandmothers and the baby mamas can bring their children there and can go to school and get a diploma and and then get a scholarship and when they come back from high school finished, there's a place where their child has been taken care of and they can work 2 or 3 hours making real wages, not minimum wage, but put that money away for their schooling or for their life or for their child and get the right education. Again, I'm here to help educate, to stop incarcerate. Again, I'm here to help feed, creating projects through the arts and through entertainment and through beautiful events to create money, fundraising to bring awareness and help. We can do so much all together.
Yes. What inspired you to become a chef? Did you go to school? Did you get it from your family?
This is
how did that happen?
Okay. Now, I come from the Etruscan area of Tuscany, Italy, which is, the Etruscans were before the Romans. Now, my grandmother was of that, what would you say, civilization. It's been carried on for thousands of years. There are people that my grandmother would go to the butcher and would ask to see the liver of the cow. Now, if the liver was in a certain way, she would buy pieces of the cow and the liver. If the liver wasn't the way she liked it, she wouldn't buy it because it would tell the health of the animal. So again, I come from that area.
And that's you're actually picking out the food.
Yes.
How much of that does a
And
chef-
that conquered my life always. And then I don't know. My cousins would play with dolls, and I would be playing in my grandmother's kitchen garden and getting the parsley and getting the basil and getting the mud and making cakes and faking this market and selling my food. I was 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. And I started when I was 4 years old cooking. Out of a tragedy, my mom got very sick. And so my grandmother put me on a stool and I started cutting and doing stuff for her. And my dad, I remember we'd come home and it would be so yummy and he would say, "Oh, my AninA." My name is Anna, but AninA means little Anna.
Right.
So he would say, "My AninA." That made me feel so, again, food is such love. And there it started. That's where my passion started. Then I did a lot of other things. I'm a clothes designer. I'm a director of international development. I speak 4 languages. I never really gave up. I'm a Renaissance woman that said, go. I have dreams. I believe that we can. I want to empower my girls to do a lot and go and start. I started this new career of Chef AninA when I was 42 years old as a show person. I was looking at an old TV program, and there was Julia Child, and I said, I'm gonna be the new Julia Child. And I started going and seeing her old she created her cooking show when she was 52 years old. And I was just so enamored, and I said, okay, thank you, Julia. I appreciate you. She was my biggest mentor.
Your favorite chefs?
Oh.
It sounds like Julia might have been one of those.
Well, Julia is my favorite chef because it was fun.
Right.
All her shows, if you look at it, and that's what cooking should be all about. It should be about having fun, creating memories. You know, I always ask my clients, I say, what did you get for your 7th birthday as a present? And they'll look and they'll go, and they don't remember at all. But then I go, what did your grandma cook for you for your 7th birthday? And, that cake! It'll come back. So food is connected deeply in the heart and the soul of memories. And I say create memories, with food and with art. It's a part of bonding.
Well, this show about food and health and all that gets into a lot of areas. So we're going to have a part 2 of this show.
Fantastic.
So, because I want to talk more about the things that Carmelita is looking at. We're all thinking about the cooking shows and creating the arts and really being healthy. I think that is the most important thing. And I haven't heard too many Italian chefs speak this way.
It's really important to eat, to be very conscious of the carbohydrates, of the fat intake, of the meat protein. Really be conscious of the quantities. It's very important. There is such thing as la dieta in bianco, which is, in bianco means in white. It's kind of a hospital type of food that they do in Italy, but they'll put you back into shape.
Right.
And people that have problems, they get a lot better that way, For example, it's not only about losing weight, it's about getting back on your feet.
Right.
My last client was Michael St. John. He was very debilitated.
Now, do you have individual clients
Yes.
as well as a restaurant?
Yes.
Okay.
I am a private chef, and I work in a restaurant at Tonino's Place, pizzeria out in Calabasas, and one is in Westlake Village, which I haven't gone there yet, where they've got the best Italian food. Very light, made on the spot, vegetable based. Again, there's the fat food and the skinny food. The fat food, like my lasagna, once a month maybe, because it has bechamel sauce, which is very fat. It has the ragu that cooks 6 to 8 hours, which is very slow to digest.
We're going to stop you for a moment because we're going to do part 2 of the show. But I want to thank you for coming in, and the rest of our people. We really love being here in West Hollywood and bringing on people that make a difference. And these people make a difference, and we're going through this. I mean, this chef happens to be an art ambassador. Camelita Pittman is an art ambassador. So we're multicultural, multi-purpose people, and we want art for peace.
Yes.
And we'll talk more about that later.
Thank
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share with you. I'm the founder of Sharing Friends of the Arts, Hollywood International, and the Artery USA, and we are here to share and help through the arts. And thank you so much. Look forward to our next show.